So I have
five.
Agenda item 5, it's about Adam
It's
Mills
about the
neighborhood.
work plan. Then you should read it at that point.
You want him to read it?
Hello?
Yeah, you can read it or.
I know. Okay. We're live.
Welcome to the Glendale Arts and Commission meeting on August 17th. Can we have roll call, please?
Commissioners Derhovanessian,
Here.
Sahakian,
Here?
Sharikian,
Yes.
Vidor,
Here.
Chairperson Oshigan.
Yes.
The agenda for the August 17th meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside City Hall on August 14th, 2017. Item 2, consent items. At 2A, approval of regular meeting minutes from July 20th, 2017.
Any comments, revisions, additions, subtractions? We have somebody.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have roll call, please.
Commissioners Derhovanessian,
Yes.
Sahakian,
Yes.
Sharikian,
Stay.
Vidor,
Yes.
Chairperson Oshigan.
Yes.
Item 3, introductions and presentations. At 3A, Citywide Master Pedestrian Plan presented by Justin Robertson, Community Development Planning Division.
Chair Oshigan, Commissioner, City Staff, if I may. Justin called me yesterday to cancel today, and I need to explain why. The laying down of chalk as a temporary crosswalk art was canceled. As you recall from the last meeting, I think I said there was a few $1,000s they were going to spend on it. It would have lasted a weekend, and then it would be washed off. Evidently, the only effective way to remove the chalk would be to power wash it. And when you power wash the streets, you're going to pick up oils and contaminants. And so they were instructed that the roadways and the gutters would need to be blocked and the water collected and disposed of in a proper manner. So they backed out of that project and are going to go on to try something else. And I'll be happy to bring him back whenever they come up with some other piece of art, but that's why he's not here today.
Okay. I have a question, Chuck. Citywide Master Pedestrian Plan, is that the name of the body, or is that like the project?
The project,
Citywide being?
Chair Oshigan, there's a citywide pedestrian plan to keep people from speeding and to keep people safe. There are signs, there are banners. It was launched about a year ago in September or October, and the notion was to have some piece of art, like painted crosswalks, that would help promote the pedestrian plan and bring attention to it in a more dramatic way than just sending a press release out or something like that. So yes, there is a big citywide master plan for pedestrian safety.
Is there any possibility of turning this, since the chalk idea isn't feasible, turning it into a proposal for a permanent plan of some kind on the street?
I can't speak to that. I don't know what community development has in the works. I don't know how much money they have. I did suggest to them that perhaps if they came up with some art ideas, they could come back to us or to the commission and speak to you. But I have no idea what they've got planned.
Because it seems like this is kind of like the type of thing we were talking about at the advisory committee the other day about, different departments, and this seems like something that should involve the commission.
We did do a study of some painted crosswalks at Maryland and Harvard, and I think Harvard or Maryland and Wilson or Broadway. and the cost was quite exorbitant, and I think ultimately the decision was not to do it at that time. But certainly this is something, as well as the pedestrian safety plan, it could be looked at through that process, but also through the public art master planning process.
Thank you.
I mean, it would be really good perhaps to invite him back next time, and I mean, some kind of collaboration, because we've thought about the same thing, but it was exorbitant, the price, but maybe we could collaborate with them and we could make it happen, because I think it's a really good idea. I think the commission had agreed that it would be a good idea. Right. Okay, any other comments? Next.
Item 3B, Open Arts and Music Festival, presented by Jess Castillo of Glendale Arts.
Hello. Thank you for having me today. I'm just here to give an update about the Open Arts and Music Festival, which is presented by Glendale Arts and the Downtown Glendale Association. We've had, I should say actually, we're exactly 1 month away from the event, so we're right in the middle of it. We're super excited, and we've finalized most of our programming. We're just tying a few loose ends here and there, but I'm happy to share with you our full talent lineup, including everything that we have slated for this second annual event. So, to begin, the Open Arts and Music Festival is a free and family-friendly event on Saturday, September 16th from 2 to 10 p.m., happening in the heart of downtown Glendale on Brand Boulevard, right in front of the Alex Theater between Wilson and California. This year, we are partnering with the Downtown Glendale Association, and we've also invited a host of other partners and vendors to join us for the event, and that includes that includes the Brand Library and Arts Center, Goodwill Southern California, Grand Performances, Los Angeles County Arts Commission, Eagle Rock Brewery, Street Food Cinema, Brewyard Brewery, LA Weekly, KCET, Collab and Play, Do LA, Los Angeles County Bicycle Coalition, and many more. This year, we are happy to feature the following artists for our main stage, and this headlining will be Run River North, followed by Duckworth, Buye Pongo, Wondam, Boogaloo Assassins, Yaverin, El Santo Golpe, Mona Lisa, who will be DJing, and then Ale, who will be our host. We also have one more surprise guest who will be announced in the coming week. Followed by that, we have, of course, the programming that you saw last year. And based on the notes that we received from all of the attendees, we've really brought that up, revamped it, flushed it out, because we are a community festival, and so we base and we grow based on what the community says and needs. So our arts market has been extended. We're featuring close to 22 vendors offering free arts activities and workshops such as jewelry making, 3D printing, quilting, knitting, interactive installations, public art projections, a biodome that you can actually enter and play around in, and more. We'll have a craft beer garden featuring our local breweries such as Brewyard Brewery, 818 Brewing, Pacific Plate, McLeod Ale, and Eagle Rock Brewery, plus a few more to be confirmed. And our kids area has been reinforced. One of the things that we did last year was that we closed at midday, but based on a lot of families' concerns, we decided to leave it open for the full extent of the day. And so this year we partnered with Collab and Play to offer not only a supervised play area, but a nursing and changing station for parents. We're also offering world percussion activities for kids who can learn and play on drums. The 3D printing that I mentioned earlier is being offered by the Brand Library and Arts Center, and that'll also and that's to tie back to the makerspace here at the Glendale Central Library. But they'll also offer DIY button making, book making, and more. And then, of course, we are partnering with our local businesses such as Goodwill to offer a $1 record bin. And this is something that we've been really trying to promote, which is all of our local restaurants, businesses, to offer some sort of engaging arts activity that day. So that's one of the activities that we'll have going. We've also, again, partnered with LACBC, Los Angeles Bicycle Coalition, to offer a free bike valet. And this year we are not inviting food vendors. Instead, we're directing all of our hungry attendees to patronize our local restaurants. So that's why you don't see any mention of that. So since we're about a month away, we need all the help that we can get. We are definitely seeking volunteers. If you know anyone who may be interested, you can contact us at volunteers@glendalearts.org. And we also have public community planning meetings. The next one, which is happening on Tuesday, August 22nd at 6:30 p.m. at the Alex Theater. So thank you so much. I have some flyers here. I left some over there as well. And if you have any questions, you're welcome to reach me directly. Thank you.
Yes.
I would like to thank you and Glendale Arts for making this an event that lots of businesses and organizations are getting involved. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to make sure that everybody gets involved, takes part, and we get to be known to the community at large. Population naturally will come, our residents will come and enjoy it, but to me it is very important that this year we have restructured it to the way that I do believe it is beneficial to everyone in the community. Thanks for the well planning.
Thank you.
Question, is this the flyer?
That is the flyer. And then attached is also our most recent press release, which outlines a lot of what I just shared today.
Now, where is it happening?
It's right on Brand Boulevard in front of the Alex Theater. Our craft beer garden will actually take place in the Alex Theater forecourt.
Any other questions, commissioners? Jesse, I want to thank you for coming and presenting to us this whole plan. I had a little bit more detail on this dome, which seems really interesting. This dome garden, a little bit more detail will be very interesting. How big it is and how many people, and is it going to be there all day? And a little bit more about, you said public art projections that you're going to host this year, and what would those be?
Sure. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to grab the press release.
No, I don't mind at all.
So to answer your question,
yes.
So the Biodome is being offered by our public art partner called Yonis. They are the same collective that did the projections onto the Masonic Temple last year. Mm-hmm. And so it's an inflatable dome that has multiple entrances. And what they're anticipating is on the outside, there will be projections and things that you can see, and it's all tied to the theme of collective behavior in terms of looking at how do different parts move and work together to create something new and better and beneficial and overall better shaping our environment. So that will be the outside of the dome, and then within the dome space proper, they will have screens where you can interact with. They'll have inflatable lounge areas, if you will, and then all-day activities for kids. And their full program is something that they've been developing, but I know that includes, I'm so sorry, it's been a minute. But it includes hands-on activities for kids, might include some digital technology for kids, but the whole idea is getting kids involved with electronics, STEAM in general, which is science, technology, arts, and mathematics. And it'll be open all day, so until about sunset, it'll be focused more on daylight programming, so hands-on workshops, activities, demonstrations, so forth. And then towards the evening is when they'll have more of the public art projection component of it. So the lights will come on, they'll have LED lights that'll kind of shine throughout the night. So it'll be located in our kids' area. So again, it's all geared towards families. I hope that kind of answers some of your
thank you
questions.
very much. Now I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Could I ask one thing? How big is the dome that accommodates? It's a lounge. It's for kids doing activities for people to walk in. What is the dimensions, kind of?
If I have it correctly in my head, I believe it's a 30 by 30 space, 30 by 30 feet. Yeah, that sounds about right in my head. So the way that we have it structured is that, it's a circular dome. And so it'll exist toward the northern end of the street. And again, it's purely inflatable, so folks can come in and out. It'll be this easy to set up and take down type of installation.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 3C, Library Arts and Culture Events presented by Chuck Wyke, Community Relations Manager.
Okay. Which one? Is that the one? Yay. And there we go. Chair Oshikan, Commissioners, City staff, we have a number of great events coming up. I'll start with one that's not on my list, but it is coming up on Saturday. We'll have a big film screening of Mildred Pierce, the 1945 film. It's part of the Jewel City Noir film and lecture series, and this one's really going to have a lecture. We've got a couple of authors, there'll be a book sale, but primarily it will be focusing on that great film. So it's part of a multi-month series, but this is the big one that Mona was really shooting for. So this is the Friends of the Library, the Museum of Neon Art, and of course, Library Arts and Culture Department. So that's Saturday at 2 p.m. Luke Elton Smith, he is an artist. He is actually the last of our artist installations at the Adams Square Mini Park gas station. He installed the very beginning of August, and his art will be there through mid-November. That piece of art there was something that he sent to show us what it was going to look like, and this is what it really looks like. So at night, he's got all these figures, about 3,500 of them, hanging. It really is dramatic. At night, they're tiny little things. And once again, the Adams Hill Neighborhood Association is going to hold a reception for Luke and his artwork this Saturday at 5 o'clock, August 19th, at the park. I hope you can all be there. You can meet the artist, and as it gets dark, you can see what his art looks like. Discomfort Women is our newest Reflect Space installation. This one deals with the Korean comfort women. It's at the Downtown Central Library. I still have the reception up there. That was a good reception, but it runs through when, Nora? End of
August.
End of August, right? Just this month. Mm-hmm. There's one more film coming up on the 24th. It's a documentary.
Yeah. We had one documentary film that was shown last week and another one coming up on the 24th.
Mm-hmm. There's a real cool program that the library is partnering with the Glendale Historical Society, Glendale's Extraordinary Craftsman Architecture, and that talk, an illustrated talk, will be on Wednesday, September 13th at 7 p.m. in our auditorium. Anybody else like to say anything about that? I know personally the speaker.
Who is the speaker?
Who is the speaker?
Who is the speaker?
Isn't it you?
Yeah, it is. It is me, actually.
It is. So Arlene Vidor will be there to speak about Glendale's craftsman architecture. That should be fun. Brand 45, that's the annual Works on Paper presented by the Brand Associates. This one begins Saturday, September 16th at 7 p.m. Now there'll be a reception. That is always a lot of fun. It's packed because there's so many artists, so there's a lot of people. It's really, really a good time, and then that continues on through the beginning of November. So that's that program. The Plaza Series that the Arts and Culture Commission sponsors, along with the Brand Associates, winds up at the end of August. We have two more groups, Shelby and Teague. That's a kind of a duo. And then the California Feet Warmers. If you get out and dance locally, that's one of the bands you might you might hear. So they're a real fun group.
And Chuck will interject that on August 25th for the California Feet Warmers, the brand associates are planning a member appreciation night, and an appreciation of anybody who is a member or joins before then. You'll get to drink wine and eat really good hors d'oeuvres in the atrium. So just wanted to put that out there.
222 East, that's what we called our Saturdays at 2 p.m. performances on the plaza at the Central Library, at the downtown Central Library. We're almost done with this first run of performers. This Saturday, Fish to Birds is a 7-piece a cappella jazz group, 7 singers. They sing. Human Echo, another string band, and another group. We've got some good performances. We've had, very slowly but growing, audiences at that event every Saturday at 2 o'clock. Here's something brand new, part of, again, an arts and culture initiative we called AHA, Art Happens Anywhere. This one will feature a dance performance at the downtown Central Library, Saturday, August 26th at 7 p.m., not in the auditorium. So it'll be on mostly the main floor of the Central Library. It's the Heidi Duckler Dance Theater, and they call their event Back in Circulation. Just to give you an idea, we do have not just art events for children or programming. We also have arts for adults. We've got a painting group that started at the Montrose Library. They're on Thursdays at 1 o'clock. There's a knitting group that's been around a while. They're at Chevy Chase once a month. And then another knitting and crocheting group, and they're at the Pacific Park Library. So most of these groups have come to us. You know, they've offered to put on a public workshop and just continue knitting or painting. We've been very, very fortunate to have these groups come to our libraries. And of course, we have authors. Let me see. September 12th, our One Book, One Glendale for Teens will feature Lori Halsey Anderson. Pretty good teen author. She's been around a while. Cake Time, Sealed Jews novel. I understand we're going to serve cake. That's September 14th at 7 p.m. And then a real popular one, Bill Esparza, is a local musician, blogger, and he also writes for LA Magazine. He has a book called LA Mexicano, Recipes, People, and Places. He's going to talk about his book on a Sunday afternoon in conversation with Gustavo Arellano. Gustavo has been to the library a number of times. Taco USA is one of his books. The other one is Ask a Mexican. He's real popular. I think we're going to have fun. And they've promised to bring in food from the Mexicatessen over on Colorado in Eagle Rock. We have a password tournament coming. Password, the word game of the stars, will be featured at the Central Library on Saturday, September 9th. If you'd like to participate, I'll give you the information. You can form a team. There's 5 of you. You could rotate in and out, but you can actually play Password in our auditorium on that day. Again, this is an author who came to us. He has a book about Alan Ludden, the former host of Password, and he's calling it the Alan Ludden Memorial Password Tournament. He's done a lot of research on Mr. Ludden and Betty White, his wife. We should have a good time with this. So just to give you an idea, our service hours have changed a little bit at our branches. In particular, Brand Library is once again closed on Mondays, but now it's open on Sundays. So they switched off there. And the downtown Central Library is open 7 days a week. That's my report.
Thank you, Chuck. Yes.
Going back to what Commissioner Vider talked about the social hour or the public hour that we will have at Brand Library at the Plaza. whatever Brand Associates put together, besides the wine and the wonderful hors d'oeuvres, people get the chance to meet a lot of exciting people. So I really would like to entice community to come and participate that day, because they'll meet with a lot of very interesting people, people that would be memorable for them. So that's a very special event. That's all.
Any other questions, comments? Next item, please.
Item 4, oral communications. There's none. Item 5, business agenda. At 5A, informational item. 5A1, updates, Arts and Culture Commission work plan elements and status.
So maybe I should read this letter now regarding item 5, or after the report on item agenda 5? After? Okay. After.
Yeah, I think it'll be clear why they sent that, well, maybe, why they sent that letter after I get through this. In November of 2015, Council approved the Arts and Culture Commission's 2015-2017 work plan and appropriated $380,000 to accomplish activities detailed in the work plan. And the following today is a status report to update the Arts and Culture Commission about each approved element, included in the current work plan, and elements actually not carried over from 13-15, but some of these are actually going to carry over into next year. The first I'll give you is the Signature Art event, and just a year ago, on September 17th, in our Central Park, Glendale Arts put on the Arts and Music Fest. The commission just before then approved a Signature Art event in the 2013-15 work plan. A request for proposals was issued in 2014 to select an appropriate consultant to produce the event, which was conceived as a street festival for the downtown. Glendale Arts was selected to produce the festival and named it the Glendale Open Arts and Music Festival. The event coincided with the culmination of the citywide Tech Week at that time. The event included 2 stages of music, kids' activities, a beer garden, a wine garden, a theatrical improvisational workshop, in addition to traditional art fair booths and food trucks. Attendance of approximately 3,000 participants was estimated. Your budget given was $80,000, and the expenses were $80,000, all to Glendale Arts.
So that's not Urban Art Fund money, that's Glendale Arts money?
That was Urban Art Fund money, and Glendale Arts was chosen as the consultant to put on that fair. Another one, very similar, an Open Studios tour. The budget was $15,000. The expenses were $15,000. The commission approved a 2-day Open Studio tour event in 2013-15. In that work plan, a request for proposals for an event consultant to plan and carry out the Open Studios tour was released in November 2015. The Creative Collective was selected to be the event consultant, and the event was conducted on the weekend of October 15 and 16, 2016. It coincided with a wave of Beyond the Box utility box mural installations, creating another tour stop. The event included 25 artist studio locations and 14 mural box installations. Studio reported, or I should say the Creative Collective reported that hosting 50 to 80 tour goers through the 2-day event. Next, Performing Arts Brand Library Plaza Series. This 2-year budget is for $50,000. The expenses to date have been $22,629.30. Our forecast expenses for the rest of this season are $16,000. The Commission is continuing with a program to showcase a diverse mix of talented performing artists at the Brand Library and Arts Center Plaza on Friday evenings during the summer. This program, now in its 4th year, is designed to provide a fun and interesting cultural experience for residents and visitors to Glendale. it has become, I can attest, a very popular summer offering for the brand, bringing large and diverse audiences. I can tell you that last week's performance drew 300-some people. A lot of people. For the summer of 2017, our current season, the selection committee chose 13 performing artists. The lineup includes an exciting mix of traditional swing, Americana, contemporary, and world music performances from regionally renowned artists. Call to artists for the 2018 series will begin in March 2018. It should be noted that the Glendale Youth Alliance sets up and removes the elevated stage for these performances. And I'll just give you an idea what goes on. You know, we start out at 7 o'clock. Early in June, it's very sunny. It's very light. By August, people are wearing sweaters and it gets dark a little earlier. But you can see we've had a variety of groups. This one was fun, a taiko drum group. Here's a singer. Here you can see it's getting a little dark. I think that guy's wearing a kilt. It is getting a little dark up there. And something I note every year, I can tell some of the regulars from their dogs. And so I've seen a lot of these dogs over the last couple of years. But you can see on the grass, for a normal performance, they're picnicking, they're down the hill, they bring their dogs, they bring their kids. This doesn't even include, you can see across the street there, that's looking south, but there are more people who just camp out across from the library. So we make a point to give them the programs and thank them for coming every month. One group really initiated a public dance contest, it looks like, at the Brand Library. So we had a lot of people dancing. There's a couple there. I think that was one of the swing jazz groups. Sometimes we try putting a little kind of stage area in front where people can dance. Sometimes it's in the back. It depends because we need the room. It's hard to kind of take away from the seating that's actually available. But people find a way to dance no matter what. This is getting to be a regular sight. This is from the Brand Gallery. So you can see from those doors, the place is packed. It doesn't even begin to show you the other 100 people that are down the hill. So it's been a very, very popular program. Hope we can continue it.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to you, Chuck, and Blair Whittington, because now I go regularly to these plaza performances, and you now have to leave and be there at about 6:15 or even earlier to get a seat. People are showing up like an hour early to get their seats. So this thing is really mushrooming into an extraordinary popular event. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Actually, I had people asking if we could add more chairs and seats and if there is an area for that, kind of to make it more like an amphitheater so more people could come. But previously I've discussed about it, but I think it has to do with the parks and all the other stuff. Question, did Youth Alliance always participate, or this year they are working with us?
Every year.
Very good. So thank you very much, Youth Alliance, for this great participation. I'm sorry I was not aware of that. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah, the stage that you authorized purchase of a few years ago is a lot of work to set up. And so we are very fortunate to have a regular crew out there. They come in, they set it up, and after the performance, they wait around with us, they help us get the chairs up, and then they start taking that stage apart.
Good job. They do a lot of good work in our community, but I didn't know this specific part was done by them too. Thank you, and thank you.
Chuck, that brings up a point that there's, of course, the Arts and Culture Commission primarily, and the Urban Art Fund primarily funding. There's some money coming from the Brand Associates and the Youth Alliance. I didn't know that either. Is there a possibility of having like a poster on an easel up that said, this made possible by and acknowledging, everybody, and I know it takes time to do that. I would be happy to volunteer to make that poster if you need somebody to do that.
Sure, we do acknowledge both the Brand Associates and the Arts and Culture Commission through the Urban Art Fund every year on all publicity, press releases, website, postcard. The Glendale Youth Alliance technically is a contract service provider, so it is
They're
paid
not a volunteer.
through. They're not volunteers. They are
Doesn't
paid
matter.
through the Urban Art Fund.
Still, it's good to know that they are participating, or we are including them. Whichever way you want to take it, it's good for the community to know that.
Any other comments? So Chuck, I wanted to say something. So it's amazing and it's fantastic that so many people show up for the Plaza Series, and this should be kind of the model for everything that we do in the city. Other events, other art events, public art events, openings, and things that we have, we don't get anywhere near this number. So I guess I'm wondering what the secret is for the success of this particular series. Is it its longevity? Is it the marketing that's being done? I mean, I don't know if you have the answer to that or we have some idea what the answer to that is, but whatever the model is that's making this really successful, we should duplicate that in everything we do.
Could I say something before Chuck talks about it? The fact is that every year the type of music that Blair and Chuck and the commissioners sit together and decide it is something that they are very well aware, especially Blair and Chuck, that this is something that community likes. So based on their experience of what has been chosen prior, so that takes a big role. Besides that, I think music is a universal language in a way that everybody enjoys. Then it is the same pattern repeated. So people already ahead of time, they all know that in summer, Fridays, regularly at such and such a time. So they set up their lifestyle in a way that they look forward to it. It's not a new thing that all of a sudden they hear about. Mostly it is something that is a tradition kind of in the community. So I do believe that that's a major part for the success of the thing. So it's the choice of the music, the location, and also the repetition and the structure ahead of time that it becomes a tradition. That's my idea, being on that committee for all these years. So,
And it's a regular.
Maybe it's also the longevity.
that's
It's been
it.
around
That
for how many years?
It's a tradition. When I say tradition, maybe my
How many
words
years
are
has
not
it been
clear.
around?
4.
4? That's it?
Yeah, but regularly.
It seems like it's been like 20 years.
No. But it is regularly summertime, Fridays. Everything has been kept in the same pattern, and it
Yes,
helps.
right?
I don't know if this item is a discussion item. It sounds to me a discussion item, but I would rather have a full discussion on all programs the next time when it's on the agenda. This item right now is only for information, so our question has to be informative questions. It's not a discussion. Therefore, I'm going to stick only for questions and not discussion issues. Question. Regarding the concert series, actually, you haven't finished the whole thing yet. Have you done, Chuck?
No, not the entire work plan
Okay,
report.
then I'll wait. You finish the whole thing, and I'll ask questions
Could we
specifically.
clarify that though? I thought as an information item, we're okay to discuss. We just can't take any action.
Generally, on the informational items, when we listed that, it's generally some general questions and comments. But if you need a full discussion, we will bring it back as a discussion item for you,
Okay.
or an action item if there's something that needs to be
Okay.
taken care
Great.
of.
Thank you.
All right. I will continue then. This, of course, is our Beyond the Box utility box mural program. The 2015-17 budget was $50,000. Expenses to date have been $36,420. That does not count this upcoming weekend's next round of painting. The Commission is continuing with the Beyond the Box program now in its 4th year. The program beautifies the city's streetscape with colorful and interesting murals installed by selected artists on city-owned utility boxes. Currently, murals on 96 boxes have been completed through 6 phases. The artwork has been very well received by residents and visitors to Glendale. The program installs murals in waves of 10 to 15 at a time per neighborhood. An interactive map showing the locations and depictions of the installed art is available from the city website. And again, the seventh phase of 13 boxes is scheduled for this weekend, August 18 through 20. One of my favorites, she was working on this box right outside the Central Library while we were closed. So now it's a nice little corner piece for us. Make art public. The Public Art Master Plan. The original budget was $50,000. The revised budget was $125,000. Expenses to date have been $11,660.75. And again, the total forecast expenses are the full $125,000. On February 9th, 2016, the Arts and Culture Commission issued a request for proposals to complete a citywide plan for the responsible and effective deployment of the Urban Art Fund. The Urban Art Fund, now totaling over $6 million, is a result of developer fees assessed for public art. A flurry of new development over the past few years has also contributed greatly to the fund. The Public Art Master Plan should provide expert counsel on the most impactful, fiscally responsible, effective, and sustainable ways in which the Urban Art Fund can be utilized for public art to enhance the city of Glendale. Consultants were recruited nationwide. Because of the high level of expertise and specificity of experience required for this assignment, a robust list of potential proposers was developed. Outreach was focused on known municipal art master plan consultants, public art institutions such as universities, nonprofit public art firms, public artists, and municipalities that have public art. 4 submissions were received by March 30, 2016. After a thorough vetting process, the Arts and Culture Commission recommended CARS, Barbara Goldstein and Associates, to the City Council with an expanded budget of $125,000. The City Council moved to approve the selection and budget on December 6, 2016. You have followed some of their work. I should also note that staff has posted the website on social media, the library, and sent it out to the library contact lists and also City Connections. We started that in July. What's that? AHA, Art Happens Anywhere. I mentioned this before, the Heidi Duckler Dance Theater. There's a budget of $50,000 for AHA, Art Happens Anywhere. The expenses to date have been $0. Forecast expenses are right now about $21,000. This program is in its inaugural year. It is designed to inject interesting and interactive experiential art such as storytelling, music, dance, and street art in interior and exterior pedestrian-friendly districts throughout the city. This program is designed to complement the city's 18-Hour City initiative, which encourages upgraded lifestyle experiences for urban residents and visitors to Glendale. The program is intended to foster a sense of excitement and discovery. A request for proposals for the AHA program was issued in November of 2016, and artists may actually continue to submit until funding has been exhausted. To date, 14 submissions have been received for review, and 2 submissions have passed the initial screening and are being developed in cooperation with the artist and affected city departments. The Heidi Duckler Dance Theater has asked for $6,000, and another artist, Scott Froschauer, has asked for $15,000. That's still in the works. Temporary art in public spaces, budget of $100,000, expenses to date $4,200. Temporary art in public spaces is a fund allocation that anticipates opportunities for temporary art that arise during the fiscal year. The following programs and allocations from this fund have been approved this year. Prior reports detail the opportunities. Period. Maryland Cool Nights was part of a month-long series of evening performances for the closure of Maryland Avenue just a year ago. This program was a citywide collaboration to stimulate pedestrian enjoyment of the downtown. Your budget was $3,000 and expenses were $4,200. This is actually Maryland and one of the groups that performed there. And there was a dance group. They were great. Painted crosswalks, $70,000. The Arts and Culture Commission approved funding for the installation of colorfully painted sidewalks as a part of the citywide Safe and Healthy Streets initiative. Staff determined that this project is not feasible due to maintenance and cost. Next. The Central Library Grand Reopening Entertainment budget was $5,000. Expenses were $2,655. The Arts and Culture Commission approved funding for entertainment associated with a variety of family-oriented opening day events that help to celebrate and introduce the reimagined Central Library to the public on May 1st, 2017. Remaining funding will be reallocated to the Central Library Arts and Culture Entertainment Series. So we had, as when we closed our little groundbreaking and closure event, we had book characters. Here are some children going up the new grand staircase to see a group that you funded, One World Rhythm. They put on a great show right upstairs. So that was let me see. That may be it for my slides. Next is the Central Library Arts and Culture Entertainment Series. I thought this was... No, I don't have any more pictures. So I will just talk. The budget is $15,000. Expenses to date have been $5,500. This is a new entertainment series we call 222 East, approved for the Central Library. Outdoor performances began in June of this year and will continue through the end of the year on Saturday afternoons at 2 p.m. There have been 11 performances to date. Number 8, acquisition of public art murals on city property, budget to be determined. So these projects are dependent on the recommendation of the Public Art Master Plan. Staff anticipates that the Public Art Master Plan will be completed in early 2018. I've included overall expenditures, budget, forecast expenditures, and once again, there's no fiscal impact associated with the status update, but it kind of brings to conclusion your work plan. And each project summarized, obviously, has a pre-allocated budget. That concludes my portion of this report.
Questions? Yeah, I have a question. I was wondering if there was any consideration. I realize it wasn't originally in the plan, apparently in 2015, but since we've had 2 successful cycles of the Art in the Park plan, and we have one park, Brand Park, that seems to be, it's on the north side of the city. It's big. It's a big park, but there's another park on the south end of the city that's small, but very active with a very engaged community, and there's already a successful program going there. So could that somehow be continued without a major financial economic impact?
Which park is that?
The Adams Square Mini Park, where there's a, kind of an arts venue that's developed over time. And
now is not the time to discuss that, right?
Well, we did receive one comment to this.
I should read that now, so I can. So this is a letter from Kathy Herenda to the Arts and Culture Commission. The Adamsville Neighborhood Association believes that the 2015-2017 work plan should reflect inclusion of the already existing and highly successful Art in the Park initiative sponsored by the Commission. This relatively inexpensive program of temporary art installations in the old gas station building in Adams Square Mini Park has strong grassroots community support. We request that this program be continued to the next fiscal year, that it not be linked to the Public Arts Master Plan. The Art in the Park Mini Park program is already implemented and can serve as a successful role model for a great public art initiative in the community. Now that we've had a few years to gain momentum in terms of interest and expectations by both the general public and artists, it would be a pity to lose it all by taking a hiatus. We do support the idea of compensating artists. Perhaps a small amount of money can be given to each artist going forward out of the Urban Art Fund to be reevaluated at a later date. If compensation is not possible at this time, we feel strongly that the program should be continued with your support. So I don't think now is the meeting to talk about any programs that are coming up, and I think there's an agenda item, right, perhaps coming up next meeting, or when this program is due to end, right, Chuck?
Sure, we can bring it back at any time. We are, this will be the last installation of this series, so if we want to bring this back, we would need to get the go-ahead from commission and seek artists and review their applications just after the first of the year.
This will go to the end of the year, this installation.
This will go through November, and then the Adams Hill Neighborhood Association takes over. Again, it's a parks facility, and they have a long-standing relationship with the Parks Department, so they put in some holiday artwork.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Cindy?
I would like to give a little clarification on the program. The program has never been part of the master or the work plan. It's been something that we funded through the general fund of the library and arts and culture department. The thought was that when we do the next work plan, the 17-19 work plan, that we would bring it back as something that could be incorporated into that work plan. Our thought at the moment, since we haven't gotten to that point, we're a little delayed on the work plan for 17-19 because we want to wait for the public art master plan to be finished. But our thought within the department was we would continue it into 2018 using what I'll call a shoestring budget that we have, do another call for artists to get us at least to the point where we start working on the work plan and maybe can bolster and hopefully, and it's sounding like we would, bolster the funding of it through the Urban Art Fund. But there's no sense to stop it at this point. We'll take a hiatus because of the neighborhood commitment that we have, but then in what Chuck we talked about February, starting up with some other exhibits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're on that topic, my recollection is that it was part of our work plan. So I'm understanding that it's never been part of our work plan. Am I the only one that remembers reports that it was part of our work plan?
No. I remember one way or the other, personally.
It has never been part of the work plan. There's been not one penny allocated to it from the Urban Art Fund.
There has been discussion about it being part of the work plan with, anticipating incorporating it into the 17-19 work plan, but it's never been part of the work plan. Certainly you've gotten input about it, and we've kept you up to date about it, but it has not been part of the official work plan.
Okay. Well, I don't know when the right time is to bring it back, but I'm going to go back to my comments. I want to say it was from earlier this year, but of all the things we do, we compensate every artist that we work with. I'm an artist in this community, and I think it's a priority if you're going to have art galleries and exhibits where you're putting on work and you're asking artists to come in and install work. The Adams Square Mini Park is the only place I could think of in all the things that we discuss at Commission where artists are not paid. So I don't know if the next meeting is the appropriate time, but I hope that we don't let this linger too long, and I think we should have a full discussion on this topic, because I think it's, for me at least, I'll speak as one commissioner, I think we need to be paying our artists.
So can I ask a point of order question? When there's an agenda item suggested, does somebody propose it and then make a motion and it gets added to the queue of things to discuss? Because you're suggesting something that I too would like to see discussed, but what is the official process for bringing something into a future agenda?
It is now noted that we would like this on the agenda, and we will put it on the agenda with some of our recommendations.
Right. So you don't need a motion and a vote on this? Okay.
Thank you.
Just checking.
Based on the Commissioner Oshagan and city staff, Based on the information that we just read, it seems to me that certain reports are pretty detailed in a sense that there are attendance numbers, the budget, the location, and some estimation of what was the outcome. My opinion, in order for us to evaluate eventually, we need to have some type of criteria that all events has to fall in the same categories. For example, the budget, attendance, the type of art or what kind of program was it, and the outcome of it. It could be outcome based on our comments or the comments of the attendees. They want to see it again. We are in a situation that our own opinion is very respectful, and I would love to talk about it more, but I'm also interested to see and hear the public what they want and what they want to hear. It's not just about the budgeting. Maybe we should put more budget in a certain area. For example, this concert series, maybe we should think something about winter series, indoor or somewhere else. So there is a need for it. And when the supply, it's more and more, 200-300 people are coming, that means there is a vacuum that we are filling, and we need to fill that vacuum more. I'm also referring to a specific item, the Open Studio Tour. For example, we spent almost $15,000, and the attendance was only 50 to 80 people. Now, this is an item we probably need to bring it back and discuss it, evaluate, and come up with a better plan, or come up with something different. The Performing Arts Center. The Beyond the Box program has been working out very nice. We have nice results from the public, nice comments. What we need to do is maybe we need to expand more. Now find locations that there are more traffic and put more boxes. What refers to the master plan, this is a plan that I love to talk about it more and more, but this is not the time. And this is something, this plan, this master plan, the ongoing procedure that we're going through, we need to make it to the public, somehow open up to the public. This is something, I don't know, we need to talk to Barbara or this commission. We need to figure out a little more details to open up to the public. Not only the Facebook and other media, maybe television, newspapers, posters, banners. I don't know. We need to open up more so the public is more participating in this master plan. And I know we're trying hard. I think we need to try harder. One more thing. The temporary art public spaces, this is a great program, and we are not doing enough work on this. We have budget about $100,000, but we need to have a serious planning on this. This is a good budget that we can have a temporary art program within 5 people coming up. My question is this: all those programs are great. How are we going to implement them more to the public? And this is my challenge, and the challenge maybe for the city staff. How are we getting the word out there? Do we have enough means to do that? And that's why my main question. This is everything nice on the paper, but we need to go out there more.
I'd like to first just kind of clarify where we are with the Public Art Master Plan. So right now with the Public Art Master Plan, we're going through a process of, as you know, interviewing individual stakeholders. There also has been an advisory team that was a select group of people that were put together to advise Barbara Goldstein and CARS about how to move forward with the public outreach process. And so we're just in phase 1. Phase 2 is really to do, and they haven't unfurled their full marketing campaign for this yet because they wanted to go through this advisory process. But once they're in, they do that, and I think they're thinking about September, really launching a huge drive to get the public involved. They are budgeted for at least 5 public outreach events, but they are talking about more.
Okay.
They have the co-urbanized site where you can go onto the site and you can give your opinion. They're going to have posters throughout town, is my understanding, but we're waiting for the results of these advisory team meetings to give us their final kind of proposal for that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And in terms of the temporary art, I mean, that is something that we wanted to wait until the end of the public art master plan. We put the money aside, but we intentionally said we're not going to spend it right now until we move forward with the results of the public art master plan.
I feel your frustration, right? I mean, I think we're all.
Frustration,
But it is to us. It is, and we,
Suggestion.
we had staff that was supporting our commission. Now, unfortunately, she's moved on, and I'm not sure if that's going to be filled anytime soon. So we're the staff here is even more difficult to keep up with these programs. So I think we're kind of in a holding pattern, right, until the public master plan comes along, right? So yes,
I 100% agree with you, but again, it is staffing. We do need to have full-time staff. When we did have one, we could do much more. People who are specialized in the area and they have the time, because it's a lot of work, but it is good work, and we would hope that in the future we are going to get all of that in place. But that depends mostly on the staffing. So it is plans and visions we have. It needs to be taken care of by when we have the budget allocated for that special purpose.
yes.
So first I want to say thank you to everybody that's in this room, because I know everyone's being stretched in a million different directions. But so if the public art master plan is ready early 2018, let's say February, March, I mean, there are going to be a number of suggestions, and I imagine that, there's going to be an extended conversation needed just for us all collectively to figure out, well, which ideas do we want to take? Which do you want to take first? Which do you want to take 5 years from now? So my only concern is, when should we be discussing at least the things that are on our plate now? I guess I'll just say my concern is that we're going to end up in summer 2018 where we've not decided anything, and now we're going to be going into fall 2018, and we are still talking about our 2015, 2017 work plan, and we haven't really had a discussion on.
And I think we have to cut the discussion short because this is an informational item, but I'll end with saying that the thought, and we'll bring it back to the next meeting, is that there is quite a bit of money left with what was proposed in the work plan for 15, 17. So we'll come back with what we're recommending to how to utilize that money, continuation of the utility box program, all the things that we've been talking about today. And that we still have money left. So whether we want to continue the Central Library series, so that will be something we'll bring back next meeting.
So that's going to be an agenda item for next meeting. Yes, to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Question. No comment, nothing. I thought we only pay the artists for the utility box, right? Staff?
No.
Who else do we pay as
The
artists?
performance at the Plaza Center.
Yes, okay.
We do that.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
I might also add we pay an outside contractor to clean and prime the utility boxes. And, of course, we pay GYA. That's, again, an outside contract service to do some of the work to set up the stage.
Thank you. That clarifies the comments. Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? I have one question, Chuck. How has the 222 East attendance been and reception? I unfortunately I haven't been able to attend.
I think it speaks to what Commissioner Sharikian said about the Brand Plaza series. And again, this is my opinion, but Brand Plaza series, one location, concentrated. Even if there's only 100 people, it looks great up there. There's space for 100 chairs, okay? Good acts, every Friday night, 4 years in a row. Central Library series, we've actually moved it from place to place, depending on input from the people sitting inside the library about what they do or do not want to hear. So we've tried it in a couple of different locations. It's brand new. There's really no seating now. Our staff have moved some extra chairs out there. We're kind of reviewing that and trying to figure out maybe we should move that to a little different location. So there are issues. So I'd say the most has been about 50 people. And that's lately. It didn't start out like that. So we've had anything from a handful up to 50.
Not bad for a Saturday afternoon.
Like,
Right.
it's also very hot out there. It's not as Brand at least cools down. It doesn't seem to cool down outside on that concrete. So there are a lot of things that staff are in discussion about that series. We haven't hit a time when it's going to rain. We still have the auditorium some Saturdays.
Central Park.
Yeah, we have Central Park out and back. You know that. Definitely, things work out there. So we're in discussion about that.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. Thank you, Chuck. Next item.
Item 6, Commission staff comments.
Yes.
I've noticed that since I've been a commissioner, it's been almost 5 years, and I'm very happy. We haven't really organized anything like appreciation day for the artist or some type of, to give them a certificate from the city that they participated in an event, from maybe our commission or maybe the city council. Maybe I would suggest if we can put an agenda item in the next meeting or the following one to invite all the young people, the musicians, the artists, the participants, and thank them. And I don't know if it's something we can give them a small reception, Kool-Aid or cookies or something, or maybe call them during a city council meeting and give them a certificate or appreciation, something. This way we can understand how they feel. It's not like just doing a job and going back. We want to build a relationship. It's not just one-time thing. We want to build a relationship with the musicians and the performers and the artists. I don't know if it can be done or not, and if we have the budget for it or not, but it's just an idea. I want to throw it in, and maybe we can discuss a little more detail next time.
Can I say something? We used to have that years ago. And it was an award ceremony, very sophisticated, very nice. Well, of course, if we do budget it and if it's planned, it could be, and we gave them certificate and etc. It was well appreciated. So community was also waiting for the Art and Culture Commission to provide that in years ago. So if that is a doable thing, it's a great idea. And we need to appreciate our artists in the community. Good suggestion.
One other comment. I have a question, and then maybe Cindy or someone else can help me out. How long the commission has been in effect? 10 years, 20 years? The Art and Culture Commission, how long has it been in effect?
Good question, and I don't know that off the top of my head, but I'd say you just got that report. At least
1999 or 2000.
Yeah, at least 15 years.
Yes.
Then this is what my suggestion is. Is there any way we can prepare a 5-minute or 7-minute documentary about our job or our work that we've done the past 15 years and explain, this is part of the master plan too, it might apply, and show the history of what had been changed in City of Glendale and where we're heading. We have the staff of Glendale TV station. We have many artists that they can help us out. Maybe we can, it might fall even under the temporary art. We can fund some program, some money from that program to this specific project. A documentary about art and cultural history. It might be a good idea, and that will show our work.
And you reminded me, I thought that we had put something in the work plan, but maybe we didn't. We had put some money aside for the branding of the Arts and Culture Commission once we got the Public Art Master Plan completed. That was one of our next goals. So I would think that kind of documentary that we probably would have to work with GTV6, and of course there are costs related to that, would be part of that big package that I see us putting together to really brand what we're doing.
Okay.
And my memory is we put $50,000, and maybe it was just a discussion item.
I don't know.
Really work on the branding.
Exactly. That's
but
why
you're absolutely correct.
That's why I brought it up. And if we can somehow document ourselves for every 10 years or 15 years, this way we can see the trend that we are, where we've been and how we're changing and where we're going to head. And this way it will be supported by the documentary information, and the public will know then what are being changed. This is something, a new suggestion. Okay, that's all.
I could help you with that because I was there from quite a while when it had a different form and you know how it evolved. If you need me anywhere, we can work on that.
Any other comments, questions? Yes.
Yes. I just have a couple things. First of all, on the subject of Adams Hill again, where I live, I just wanted to hand this out to you guys and give a shout out to Caffeine Coffee Company, a local business in Adams Square, because they have established a newsletter and they are providing a lot of information about what goes on locally in the arts. So I made a copy of their little online newsletter so that you could see what they're doing. And for the event this Saturday, they're also producing a signature drink, which they plan to do for each artist that displays in the park. So business and community kind of working together. And then another thing was I wanted to just say that having attended the first advisory committee meeting of the Public Arts Master Plan on the 15th of August, it was a very exciting, energy-filled meeting, so there was a lot of discussion. I'm not going to get into the discussion, but I took copious notes, and I'm happy to, share thoughts with anybody, and I understand that from the group and from Barbara Goldstein and CARS that there's a desire to move the process along and have things progress as fast as possible. And on that note, I am aware that neither Tammy O'Connor or Barbara Goldstein will be available for the meeting in September because there's a holiday that they're celebrating, and we talked about that a little bit informally, and I wondered if there is a possibility to push the meeting back a week so that they can participate. That would be the 28th of September, and what the commission feels about that.
It's very possible. So, yeah, depending on what the commission feels about it, yes, we can change
I just wanted
the
to bring that up. Okay. And the other thing is to the point of communication. There was a little, something that was a little not quite understood at the meeting. Now, I know for the August 15th meeting, which was the advisory committee, I got notice from Yvonne, and I had the meeting on my calendar, which was great, and there was a very good turnout for that. But then I understand that on the 16th, some of the people who had been invited to participate in the artist advisory group weren't notified, and I'm not sure who is actually, it was very unclear whether it was Tammy or Yvonne who was supposed to be sending that out. It was a little confusing as to how the communication went for that meeting on the 16th, because somebody who I knew was invited didn't know about it. So I just thought I'd clarify where are the notices coming from? For CARS? Okay, yeah.
I'll share that with them.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't know you were here.
Welcome, Barbara. Any other comments, questions? Yes, John.
Well, she walked in perfect timing, but I want to say I enjoyed my time sitting down with Barbara Goldstein, our consultant for the Public Art Master Plan, and just want to make sure the community knows that it's happening, and just very excited for what's possible for the future of Glendale and public art. So just want to thank you for your time.
You're very welcome.
Ditto.
I need to say I have the pleasure to sit with her today, so looking forward to that.
Anything else, dear commissioners? No? And is that any written communications?
No written communications.
Okay, then we are.
3:50. Thank you.
Thank you.